What's up, everybody? I just wanted to follow up on that video that I sent in the group chat on the Discord. I know a lot of y'all are using Webull, so I just want to show y'all what it looks like on Webull as well, right? So when you're looking at a Fibonacci retracement, I know a lot of y'all are looking for kind of quicker money. I know investing is not as appealing as making money quicker, right? So I want y'all to understand that I've just created a new strategy for swing trades, right? So I want y'all, it's probably not a new strategy, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a strategy that I've recently been studying about and I'm just now confident enough to share with everybody because at the end of the day, we're all learning and I'm at the point where, yes, I've been studying this for years, but I also don't want anybody to lose money. So there's a lot of pressure on me where I'm just like, kind of like, okay, well, yeah, I kind of want you to follow this thing, but I don't want you to lose your money either. So, okay, but either way, I'm not gonna hold you up. So the point is, we're looking at Palantir, right? Which is the one that I was mainly talking about, right? So we spotted a uptrend in this area right here, right? This is a mark I've made a long time ago. You see, it was at $60. This is back when I was talking to y'all about it on the slides, right? Back on Talking Stock Tuesdays. So this is the trend line that I've made a while back, right? So it followed this trend line almost to a T. So one thing I want to explain to y'all first is that wherever you see it holding these positions right here, like you see this kind of like imaginary line that I'm drawing with the mouse, this is what you call your support, right? So when you go back and look into the neutral trading folder on the Discord, you'll understand that there's a lot of places where the stock either doesn't go any lower or it doesn't go any higher, right? So when it doesn't go any lower, that's called your support. When it doesn't go any higher, that's called your resistance, right? So what we're looking at is Palantir in a long-term uptrend, right? Which what indicates that it's in a long-term uptrend is that we have these moving averages, right? You see MA right here? That means moving average, which means we on the weekly chart, right? You see this W right here, which means we're on the weekly chart, which means every candlestick, each one of these things right here is a week. So it's showing you average what that week did, right? So we're averaging all the bids and all the puts in the week, which means all the buys and all the sells in all of the week, and we're averaging them into a candlestick, which is like a bar graph, right? Which shows you kind of like what the price reached as we're going through it, right? So what happens when you're doing that, right? So now we're on the weekly chart, which means we can kind of understand longer trends. So what is this green line right here? This green line would be your 50-day moving average. You see that 50 right here? So that means it's the 50-day moving average. So that means all of these prices within 50 days, it's showing you a trend line of how the price has been moving. So you see that over 50 days of time, the price has steadily been increasing. Now this orange line is the 200-day moving average. So this is a longer trend line, which means it's showing you over 200 days how much the price has increased or decreased. And you see that this is also in a very, very slow increasing line, right? So even though that the price is dropping at the moment through the weeks, the overall trend line is still positive, right? So when you look at that swing trade strategy, one of the parts of the strategy is that the overall trend is in an uptrend, right? So we see that with this trend line that I made a while ago. We see that it's steadily been going up with the Fibonacci retracement, which Fibonacci retracement means it's going from the top to the bottom. So when you say retracement, you start from the top and you go to the bottom. That's what retracement means, right? So we're going to a point where it was low to a point where it was high to analyze the trend, right? And you see that trend line is also positive, right? So it's been going up over time. Now, we see that right here on the red part, it's been pulling back, right? So on the Fibonacci retracement, the reason that it's helpful is because if you go over here to these prices, right? Now you have a good have these support. It's easier to find the support and resistance levels. So it found heavy resistance at 125, right? Because when it hit 125, it shot down, right? So that means that 125 is a heavy resistance level that it will have to break in the future for it to be able to continue the trend of going up, right? So you keep that in mind when you're watching the stock, right? So now you've seen that it's fallen all the way to about this point right here, about $79.25 or $78.15, right? So right here, it's in between those areas, right, that it's falling down. Now, if you look at the Fibonacci retracement, this would be about 50% of a drop, right? Right here at this line. So when you get to that 50% of a drop right here at this line, that may be a good time to buy in, right? So now you see that this wick has ended. Now it's called a candle. So when it's extended like this, it's called a wick. And when you see the wick right here at 78.52, right, you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, this may be a time to buy. Now, what is the rest of the strategy? You see that the RSI is at 57. You want it to be slightly lower than that before you buy in because in the strategy, it says you want it to be below 50, right? Now you look at the volume. That's another part of the strategy. The volume is right here. Now on the other one that I sent in the chat, it doesn't have no colors, but this is what it looks like with the colors. So the green is buys and the red is sells, right? So when you see it dropping, you'll see that the buy volume is overall red because that means majority of the people that's investing in the stock right now are selling instead of buying. So when they sell instead of buy, this is what happens. It turns red, right? So when I said that you want to see a reversal in the volume, you want to see a volume spike like this of a green candle, right? You want to see the volume spike of green before you buy in. So even though it's dropping down to your retracement level where you had your price set that you wanted to buy in at, right? You need to wait until the volume spike is green again, like a good volume spike, just like this one, where it's higher than these ones, where it's green. And you will see the candlesticks if you're watching the market at the time when you buy in on the 1 minute or the 5 minute or the 2 minute charts or the 15 minute or 10 minute. You'll see kind of like the candlesticks turning green and going in an upward position. But you also watch this volume and you also watch this RSI because you want to buy in when the RSI is below 50. So, right. So you kind of got to be watching and paying attention. That's why I told y'all on the last Talking Stock Tuesdays, the last couple weeks, it's really important in these volatile markets where you have that cash kind of sitting in your account where you can kind of be ready. Now, if you look at Google, Google is the same way. So let me pull up Google's chart because Google is kind of in the same position. Let's go here. So if you see Google is in the same position, you see the long-term uptrend, right, from the Fibonacci retracement. You start from the top, went to the bottom. You see it right here. So it tells you all the major support and resistance levels. That's the reason you use the Fibonacci retracement, is because it tells you all the major support and resistance levels. So you see it bounced off kind of like right here at this level right here at 148. And it kind of went back up, right? It bounced off a little bit kind of right here at this line on red right here. That explains why the stock was decreasing in the last, when you go back to the 30-minute chart, right? So, but the overall trend is upwards. So when you're looking for entries, it's kind of complicated if you're trying to get the perfect entry. That's why I was trying to tell y'all the dollar cost average. That's why a lot of y'all, if you was asking why I told y'all the dollar cost average, is because if you don't want to have to put in all this work doing all this, you want to at least not buy at the high though. Even if you don't dollar cost average, don't buy at this peak right here. Like if you look at the weekly chart or the monthly chart and you bought up here in the highs and you seen that the stock has never hit that high before, you're literally watching it go all the way up and you bought right here, that's not a good thing. You see how the stock pulled all the way back right here on the monthly chart, you at least want to buy right in this area right here, at least, right? So please just don't buy the high, whatever you do. But if you're looking to invest, look at the longer charts. If you're looking to trade, you look at the slower charts, right? So maybe the largest chart you look at is the daily chart, which is this one, right? So you're looking at Google, the daily chart had a gap right here, which is called a gap, which usually fills, right? So if it has a gap, that means it pulled back, or there could be a gap to the upside, but either way. So now it's about to touch this resistance right here it's at 168. It's about to touch, what is this right here? Why is it taking me so long to get over here? What the freak? Okay, I'm over here, but it's just, okay. So it's 164.87. That's where the resistance is. I mean, the support is right here. So this is support. It's not resistance. I'm sorry. I keep saying resistance. Resistance is this. So where it hit 208, that would be the resistance where it went down to the upside, right? I mean, to the downside. So this, you see where it bounced off at? That's why the Fibonacci retracement from the top to the bottom. So if you're on Webull, if you want to look up how to get to the Fibonacci retracement, you go here, drawings, and then you click this right here. It says Fibonacci retracement, right? And you chart from the top of the trend line to the bottom of the trend line. That's how you monitor where you're going, right? So this top of the trend line is at 208. Right? So that is where you would go down from and you would go to the bottom of the trend line that you feel like is a good area that you want to do it at, right? So you do it, you see where it pulls back to. These are the areas that you want to buy in at, not the areas where it's at the all-time high. I'm sorry, I know this video is kind of a little long, but I just want to explain that to y'all so y'all really understand what's going on and how to use that strategy the best way to your ability. Hit me up if you have any questions. Please wait till the stock is on a good pullback just like this to buy in. Please do not buy up here in this area, please. Okay, so that is all I have to say. Please call me if you have any questions. I am free to talk to y'all. This is why I'm here. This is why I do this for free. I want y'all to know I'm here. Okay.